So, I was just thinking about something when I was parking here at a fresh market location, and it was what I've learned in my first 100 plus trips. I think I've done 126 now with Instacart, and I am trying my best to take it seriously, as a business. And what I've noticed is if I just take orders as they pop up, um, it'll send me on what I would call like a wild goose chase. Um, you have really no control over your day or your schedule, and you'll end up in neighborhoods you're not familiar with, and that causes you a lot more stress because you're in areas that you're not familiar with and demographics that you're not familiar with. You just get really tired and worn down when that happens. And then you have to regroup and get back to where you are familiar uh, with the area. And that reduces your stress level because you're working in an area where you're familiar with what's going on and where the school zones are and the traffic flow and the demographic. You can sense when you're out of your home area. You just feel like a fish out of water. So if you're trying to take Instacart seriously as a business, um, I would encourage you to plan to control where you're available and where and what you're not going to do. So you really don't know why you would turn down certain orders initially. I didn't. I had no idea like why I would not want to be in this neighborhood, why I would not want to go to this store. You, Honestly, you just have to go to those stores and get the experience to realize why you would turn down a certain kind of an order. Now, sometimes, depending on the time of the day, you might take that order, but in other times of the day, you might prefer to be available to a different store, and you'll learn that. Okay, you'll learn that. I encourage you not to get in a big hurry. I know Instacart is, constantly popping up and saying, quick claim, quick claim. Well, you might not want to quick claim that because, like I said, you'll end up on a wild goose chase for peanuts and all stressed out. Um, yeah, I wouldn't get in a big hurry because the bottom line is traffic out here when you're driving. I've driven almost 5,000 trips for Uber, and I was primarily in the Minneapolis market, and I knew how to go in and out of the airport like blindfolded with 5-star red carpet service without thinking. But that was because I had gone in and out of the airport over and over and over and over again, and I knew the flow of traffic at certain times of the day and where to go when I drop people off. I knew it. I knew the routine like the back of my hand. I could feel, the attitude of the traffic around me, whether it was aggressive or whether it was docile. And like right now, I'm at university in Sarasota, University Town Center type area, University Parkway, and there's a lot of affluent people here. They drive really, really fancy cars. Sometimes they're ridiculously aggressive. They'll try to fly by you in a brand new Corvette, doing 100 because some kid just, got his check from his YouTube channel and now he thinks he doesn't need to obey the law. It's really annoying. So these super aggressive people with a lot of money can get you in trouble. These neighborhoods can get you in trouble because you're trying to do a job, you're trying to serve them, and they just throw safety to the wind because they have money. So money's not the answer. I encourage you to focus on quality over quantity. And I was a commercial truck driver for 7 years before I ever did any driving for Uber or DoorDash. I almost did 1 million miles commercial truck driving, so over 700,000. in the course of 7 years, because commercial truck drivers easily drive over 100,000 miles a year if they're serious workers. And I did that. So I've got so much experience driving. I have an unfair advantage over a lot of these gig drivers or people that are new to the Instacart, Uber, DoorDash opportunity. I guess that's a good word for it. I have a ridiculous amount of driving experience. I'm kind of numb to the whole thing. But I can feel when people are aggressive drivers. I can feel it. I can see it out of my peripheral vision. I was taught as a commercial driver to drive about 5 miles an hour slower than the traffic. The reason being is in traffic, when people are competing for position, they're running out of time to make safe, critical decisions. So I encourage you to slow down. I encourage you not to be like quickly making decisions, okay? And I noticed on the Instacart platform that it's saying, quick claim, quick claim. You don't need to do anything quick if you're trying to build a stable, safe, long-term, respectable, high-quality business with Instacart or any other courier gig platform. You want to treat it with white gloves, okay? You want to go for quality and not quantity. Quality. Get into a quality routine. Be rested. Be well fed. Take care of yourself. Don't let yourself get run ragged, because then you'll make poor decisions. You'll make mistakes because you'll get caught up in traffic. The traffic is trying to push you all the time. You have to control the situation. Do not allow yourself to be pushed. Peace. I love you guys.